welcome. I'm Linda, and this is Allie.
Hi guys, how are you?
So we are here to talk about some things today as far as spicing up your life with changing some foods on, or adding some things to your Nutrisystem foods. So I'm going to introduce Allie because she's our expert.
Hi guys, I'm Allie. I'm a weight loss counselor here at Nutrisystem. Been here for about 3 months now. Love it, love everything, love helping you guys out, get to your weight loss goals, and I'm looking forward to answering your questions today.
Isn't she great? She loves, so not only does she get to talk to people every day and encourage them on their journey, but like I get to see people on social media, and it's so great to see when people say what their weight loss is. I lost 40 pounds, I lost 10 pounds, or whatever. So that is always so exciting to us. So
Definitely.
I love it when I get to hear that people are on their journey, and even when they're having a little bit of a struggle, but they're hanging in there, and then other people are helping them out, saying, you go, you can do it. So that's great. So today we're here talking about variety is the spice of life. So we're going to talk about some things that some ideas that maybe you know or maybe you don't know, or if you have ideas, let us know what they are, on how to spice up your Nutrisystem meals. So do you want to talk about why it's important to kind of change things up?
Sure, yeah, variety is a very important part of dieting. I know as a person myself, I've dieted a lot in my past, and getting hooked on the same thing and really just eating the same thing every single day is basically, I always find myself in that kind of rut. So spicing it up is really important for making sure your body is always guessing. You're making sure that you're always giving your body a little bit something. It's guessing all the time. That really does help with weight loss and really gets it going to, it doesn't get stuck in that rut and it's not used to the food that you're doing. So, yeah.
Ruts. Nobody gets in ruts. Do you know I eat this? Sometimes I eat this. Okay, I eat the same thing for breakfast almost every day,
yeah,
and I know.
I
and then I get into this rut, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to eat that again. Yeah. But then I'm like, I'm sort of comfortable with that. Mm-hmm. But you know, you're right. When you change up your foods, you can feel a little bit like, hey, I'm not depriving myself so much. It's not so much of a diet because I get to have not only the turkey and cheese omelet, but I get to have the muffins, or I get to have the turkey and sausage sandwich.
Right.
So, and then when we talk about those types of things, what can we do? So for pancakes, is there something that you could have with pancakes that maybe would sort of mix it up? I know I've heard of people putting peanut butter and using that as a
peanut butter
that's a power fuel, right?
Yeah.
So you would use that power fuel, and people smear it on top of their
the pancakes.
on top of the pancakes. But then also, tell me about syrup.
Syrup.
So what about sugar-free syrup? Is that free?
Yeah, that is not free. It's an extra.
It's an extra.
So you really need to watch your portion size is definitely on the sugar-free maple syrup. I'm pretty sure it's about a tablespoon is what you can use. But yeah, a lot of people don't realize that they can add those extra things onto a lot of their items. They're like, well, I got the honey wheat bagel. What do I put on it? And you can put the cream cheese. You can put butter. There are other things that you can put on the bagel to just kind of give it a little bit of extra flavor, so you're not bored of just the bagel itself. Yeah.
Well, this is true. And then there's actually a recipe that we have with the honey wheat bagel, which is tomato and a slice of cheese. But I did want to touch on the spray butter. So you can spray butter on, and that's free.
That's free. Spray butter is free.
So you can
ham
spray that on.
Free too.
Oh, ham spray is free. So you can spray that on the butter on your pancakes, or you can just go and use it as the peanut butter as a power fuel. Or some people even use bananas. They'll use things with like bananas and so forth. So so it's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know.
You just have to keep in mind if you're adding peanut butter or you're adding the banana on top, you do need to count that as your power fuel or smart carbs. So those are things you just have to keep in mind if you do decide to put them on top.
Right. Is there a recommendation as far as when to use the power fuel? When is the best time?
We do have in the daily tracker gives you when you need to have the power fuels and smart carbs, but those, just keep in mind, are definitely a recommendation. You don't necessarily have to have them at that time. Meal spacing is the most important part of our program. Every 2 to 3 hours is what we recommend. So there's not a certain time that again, it's all a recommendation. So everyone's schedule is different. You can space it out however you want to, where you put in your power fuels and smart carbs. So it really just depends on what you like to do. And
yeah, totally. Okay, well, so good. So you can move those power fuels around if they work for you, and I think that's a great idea. So we've had some people make recommendations as far as some other things. So we've seen this a couple times where people have taken our chicken sandwich, and they've made it into a chicken Caesar salad. Right. So they toast the bread, and then they cut it up into little pieces, and then they use the lettuce. They use lettuce, which is free because it's your vegetable.
Exactly.
And then they dice the chicken, and then they use the bread as croutons.
Yeah.
Genius.
It really is genius. I don't think I ever would have thought of that.
I know.
That's an awesome recommendation to do.
But this is definitely a way to change things up. So there's I know there's a list of spices. So can you talk about like what are your favorite spices to use if you were going to
spices?
Yeah. So like what are free? What could you do to mix the food up easily?
Yeah, all your spices are free. So garlic, pepper. You want to stay away from salt because you don't want to add too much salt. It does build a lot of water up in your system. So that's the one seasoning you should stay away from. I know at home I have a spice rack, so I use all those different kind of seasonings. I really like those. So I know vegetables are a really hard thing sometimes for me to get in. So adding in all those spices and garlic, pepper, oregano, all those different things onto your foods or onto vegetables does help with keeping you guessing and variety and everything like that. So.
That's true. And then so when you say that so garlic is free, so you got to watch the salt. So do you have some substitutes that you like to use for salt?
I have had people on the program who have called in about salt substitutes that they use. I forget what the name of the one was.
Mrs. Dash is something that I use.
Yeah, that's a good one. I know a lot of customers do use the Mrs. Dash is a good one to use. So
right. So when talking about salt, there was a comment that just came through saying that our meals have too much salt. So so can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I can see why people would really be nervous about the salt that's in our food. In counseling department, we can customize your food to have a little bit lower salt. Our food gives 2,300 milligrams of salt. We can customize it to be down to 1,500 milligrams if you ever needed it, if you were concerned about the salt content or whatever.
Right, but with our plan, it is within the FDA recommendations as far as sodium goes. So saying there's a lot. I mean, a lot of people think that there's too much, and we don't have. And in addition, we don't have any artificial flavors or colors too. So I mean, so those are some things to think about. That salt is something that you want to stay away from. Too much salt is. But when our nutritionists, so we had these nutritionists who put together this plan, and what what they did was they formulated it exactly with those amounts of salt in mind, with those amounts of carbs, fiber, and that kind of stuff. So it's really a scientifically generated meal plan that you can really sink your teeth into. Look, I went there. So moving on from salt, let's talk about what other things can you do to keep yourself moving some things around. So do you know any things about? I mean, let's talk about the dinners and the pizzas. So what can you do to the pizzas?
Pizzas, pack on those vegetables on top of the pizzas. That's probably the best thing. It makes you feel a little bit more full too if you're adding on those extra vegetables on top of the pizza. That's probably the biggest thing that I see a lot of people do, and I probably would do myself, adding in all those extra vegetables on top of the pizzas.
And I have to agree with you with that. I can't tell you how many times I have seen people send over photos. So I get the ability to see these photos come over. So the photos that I saw with the pizzas, it was one of the pizzas, and it had it was covered in mushrooms and tomatoes. So somebody had really customized this pizza to be a little bit more than what it was. So when you think about the thick crust pizza and dicing up some vegetables and throwing them on there and then putting that all together, it's really, it's very filling. It's much more different. People always think about when you're on a diet that, I have to have salad, that kind of stuff. But no, you can have that pizza and have vegetables in it. Right. So
even with other meals too, like the pasta meals, you can throw in some spinach into it.
Oh,
too.
really? Like which one? Which one do you like? The
specific pasta.
How about not the manicotti? There's the cheese tortellini.
Cheese tortellini is a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. I know. I'm thinking how I want to go eat that for dinner. I'm gonna have that one for dinner. The cheese tortellini with the spinach. That sounds really good.
Yeah, spinach. Even if you wanted to put broccoli too in it, just to again, give you a little bit more into the food. I know portion sizes, people think, oh my gosh, this portion's so small.
Right.
Gives you a little bit more too,
Right.
adding in those vegetables.
Yeah, so it's all about portion control and then adding in those good things. So when we talk about adding in good things, so I'm going to make a plug for the white cheddar macaroni and cheese because I love this. I love mac and cheese. It is the ultimate comfort food. But what I've done is I've added some extra things to it. I know you have some extras that you add into to macaroni and cheese. So first you can go first with
Chicken,
hot chicken and hot sauce, buffalo
free.
mac and cheese.
Hot sauce is free.
I know. Like this is one of the best things as far as the macaroni and cheese because there's a lot of sauce, so you can mix up with the sauce with the chicken, and the chicken gets a cheesy, spicy. So good, so good. I know. I'm already having the tortellini for dinner. Can't have the macaroni and cheese. But another thing that that we have with the macaroni and cheese is adding in broccoli. So this is another way of you've got the extra cheese sauce, so you can put that in there, and then what you've got is you've got broccoli and cheese, and it's pretty darn good.
Yeah,
it's pretty darn good. Okay, so let's talk about free foods versus extras. So what are the kind of the differences there?
Free foods, the main thing to look for your free foods, less than 10 calories. So free foods, those are unlimited. You can use as much as you want within the program. Your extras, those are more geared towards things that are 10 to 35 calories a serving size. So you get a limited, only 3 extras a day. So based off of the 1,200 calorie diet, you can have potentially around 100 to 105 more calories within the program. So you have a little bit of more flexibility. If you feeling a little bit hungry, you need to add something else to give a little variety. Those things are great to use.
But we always have to talk about, you want to not only keep those free foods and the extras kind of in check, because I know people do use the extras, but you want to keep those in check, but always so you have to become like so the wonderful thing about Nutrisystem is that it provides a well-balanced diet,
right,
and you get to have muffins and you get to have ice cream sandwiches and that
love, right?
So I mean those things are awesome, but the way to feel really full is to add in those vegetables and the free foods. So if you're feeling hungry, it's definitely a great way to fill yourself up. So if you are watching and you have questions, feel free to ask them. And if you're watching and would like to tell us how much weight you lost, that would be fantastic, because we'll give you a shout out, because we're always hoping to do that if we can. Let me try to pull this up.
Probably one of the best things to hear. Customers who call in and they just want to say how much weight they've lost, it's the best thing to hear as a weight loss counselor.
I know, it's so exciting.
It's the best thing.
It's so exciting because people are like, oh, I lost, it's not that much, I lost 5 pounds, but 5 pounds is really good.
It's 5 pounds less than you need to lose.
I know. So
yeah.
it's very good. Anyway, so we see, people are sharing, that's great. And then Melanie said thank you after you answered the question about the salt. And then Connie Darty wants to know how much. I don't know what that means. But Connie, if you can clarify your question, we're happy to answer that. So let's talk a little bit about free foods. And, there's this taco salad. Here, I actually have the recipe. This taco salad, it's the Nutrisystem chili and beans. So you take that, and then you add lettuce, tomato, onion, cheddar cheese, and baked tortilla chips. And it counts as a dinner, a power fuel, and a smart carb. I'm going to throw this link up later on so you guys can take a look at it. And this, I saw the pictures of it. It looks so good. I have not had this one, but it looks like it's amazing.
It sounds really good.
All right. So what else we got? So one more thing. We have the kitchen sink soup. Oh, here we go. Oh, Martha. Let's see. Hang on. Let's turn the volume off. Rebecca Ann started 2 weeks ago and loves it. She couldn't eat the chicken chili. It's way too spicy. And so she picked all the chicken out, and they're like, well, Nutrisystem, switch it for me. Rebecca Ann, can you call the customer service line? And they can definitely, they can help you out with that.
Yeah, we can eliminate all those spicy foods, especially if you're on one of the programs where you can customize the food that you want. If there's things that are too spicy, we can send you replacements too if it was just something you didn't really like. Yeah.
Oh, and a shout out for Tamara. She lost 6 pounds on so far.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, and then we also have Carla if you find a food like fat-free string cheese with 50 calories and 6 grams of protein, can that be used as a power fuel?
It can be used as a power fuel, but you can use 2 to get in your full serving size.
You can eat 2 pieces of string cheese.
That's awesome, because you want to get in 80 to 120 calories. So eating 2, if it's 50 calories, you're getting in 100 calories with 2. So you can have 2 then. That's awesome.
2 pieces of string cheese, I'm in.
Yeah.
I know. I like, so I also am of the school, play with your food. So with string cheese, I do this thing where I slice the top of it and I make it into like little pieces of hair. So rather than just biting it, so like it lasts a little bit longer that way. I know it's silly, but I like
savoring it.
Yeah, I like to play with the food. And then you take the other end, because once you have all those things peeled in one side, then you have to flip it over to the other side. And if you're taking your time with that kind of stuff, it really makes the food last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So
mindful eating, really thinking about what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, so do you have any other tips as far as free foods, or could you do this for me? I know this is not what we are, but could you do the Power Fuel Smart Carb thing? Can you just kind of break it down for everybody?
Sure, yeah. Your power fuels, those are your proteins. So I always like to think of it, power fuel starts with P, protein start with P. So all your protein sources, your lean meats, your lean fish, all your dairies and nuts, nut butters like peanut butter, almond butter, and all your dairy products. So those are most of your proteins. Serving size 80 to 120 calories and should have at least 5 grams of protein. And then your smart carbs are your carbohydrate group, so those are your fruits and whole grains. Again, 80 to 120 calories, so it's the same, but the thing to look at for your smart carbs is the fiber. You want to make sure there's at least 1 gram of fiber in those.
1 gram of fiber, there you go. Okay, so we have some questions coming. Let's see, the Lily Myers says, for the breakfast cereals that call for half a cup of milk, do you still add a power fuel to that?
Great question, yeah. So the milk that's already in the cereal, that is built into those calories already, so you need to do an extra power fuel with that.
Okay, and then Tamara, let's see, and then Alva Davis says her weight is coming off really slow.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Go ahead.
I know that's discouraging. Definitely, when you're not seeing the weight loss results that you definitely want, and I would recommend calling into counseling, just kind of walking through what you're doing in your day and seeing if we can help with recommendations, getting up those proteins, making sure you're really going for high protein foods. Definitely does speed along the weight loss a little bit. You should expect to see 1 to 2 pounds a week, so that's the main goal that you want to aim for.
Right. So if you're not there with 1 to 2 pounds per week, definitely call counseling. Yeah. And then, like Ali said, when you call, sometimes it's just nice to say, hey, I just lost 3 pounds, and somebody can be like, congratulations, that's great.
Yeah, we're here for motivation. It's not necessarily like you need to call in with any troubles or anything. Just, you want to hear something good, that's why we're here, and we like to encourage you guys, and it's the best part of the job.
And a lot of times, people take the weight loss journey by themselves. So they don't want to let people know that they're trying to eat healthy and that kind of stuff. So calling a weight loss counselor is definitely one of those things where you can be like, hey, not really my BFF, but hey, what's up? I'm doing this. We've had people that have had concerns about holidays. What do you do about that birthday cake? You don't want to be that person who's not going to eat the cake. What do you do? So you can call a weight loss counselor, and they'll kind of talk you through all that.
Yeah, we're here with you along your goal. You're not alone. If you feel like you're alone, don't hesitate to call in. We're always here for you guys.
Yeah, so Tamara says she's enjoying most of the food and is so happy, and she got the plan that allows me to customize. So Tamara, good job there.
That's the best. I like the customize. I always recommend those. That's the best part. So.
I totally agree. Customization is where it's at. And then Stephen wants to know, how many grams of protein per day is appropriate?
How many grams of protein per day? I would just go for looking at your power fuels. Make sure that each one does have 5 grams. So we, again, have it worked out for you already. We already have everything laid out on how many grams of protein you should be getting in. Yeah, we have it worked out for you, so I wouldn't worry too much about.
But you're a guy, so guys get 2 power fuels, don't they?
Guys get three power fuels.
Oh my gosh, 3 power fuels. You guys are killing me.
3 power fuels, 2 smart carbs for guys. So.
And then Tamara said had a rough week, and second week losing, and a family member there was a lot of eating out and on the road, but she was able to maintain the 5 pounds that she lost the first week. Woo!
That's
Go
great,
Tamara.
especially with eating out. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I know eating out is tough. I mean, it can really feel like you can get derailed really
definitely,
quickly with eating out.
yeah.
And then Debbie Williams wants to know, whole wheat, low calories, sliced bread, is that okay for supper? So I guess
Whole wheat, low
Debbie,
calorie?
I think Debbie is looking for, she's having low calorie whole wheat bread.
Okay.
I guess with her meal, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. If it's you just need to count that as your smart carb, so you would need to move it from where it's recommended in your diet and have it with your dinner instead. So if it's low calorie, if it's less than 80, then you could potentially have 2 slices with your dinner.
Right.
So. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, this has been a fantastic time, and I think I don't see any more questions coming through. And we covered. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Just call in.
We're here for you.
Yeah, if you guys are, we love helping you guys out. So don't hesitate. Don't be afraid to call in to us. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have my job. So please call in. And even if it's just to say you're doing well, we love to hear it. So give us a call.
I know. Call in. We're here. Reach out to us on social. We're here to take your questions and to help you out. Don't do the diet journey alone.
Exactly.
We're here with you. Anyway, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.